Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to give you my honest advice on financial freedom, which really is the nirvana of personal finance. Financial freedom has become a very trendy term that's thrown around a lot these days, and you see so many people on social media claiming to be financially free, which makes it look like it's really easy to achieve and like everyone's doing it. But that's not really the case. The reality is that only a very small proportion of people actually ever reach financial freedom. It's a really special achievement that less than 1% of people actually experience. So before we go further, guys, I'd just like to say that I'm not a financial advisor. This isn't financial advice, and I'm actually not even financially free myself yet, but I do consider myself to be well on my way there. So with that said, financial freedom isn't easy to achieve, but today we're going to address this by talking about how much money you actually need to get to financial freedom and what you can do to give yourself the best chance of getting there. So let's get into it. So I think the best place to start is to clarify what exactly I mean by financial freedom. Financial freedom to me is where you're able to live your desired lifestyle on investment returns alone, without having to earn money from a job or dig into the capital base to fund that lifestyle. So it's a position where you won't ever actually run out of money by continuing to live your ideal lifestyle, because your investment returns are always replenishing what you spend. And your capital base then continues to grow over time, which then spits off even more investment returns for you to live off. So that, in my view, is true financial freedom. You can see how I think it's different to typical retirement plans where the person retires and then gradually they spend their retirement savings and they dig into the capital base until there's nothing left. So why is financial freedom actually important? If you want financial freedom, it's probably because you've realized that time is the most valuable thing in the world. It's a non-renewable resource that you can never get back once it's gone. So financial freedom is really about buying back your time and your freedom. It's about having the ability to do whatever you want with your time because you don't have to work in a day job to pay for your lifestyle expenses. It could be about having the ability to work part-time or not at all, start a business, travel the world, or just the simple things like being able to drop off and pick up your kids from school every day, whatever's important to you. So wanting financial freedom is very different to wanting to be rich. It's much more about freedom of time and choices rather than wanting to live the lifestyle of the rich and famous with big houses, expensive cars, and luxury clothes. You can be rich without being financially free. And as I'll talk about more later in the video, the more the rich lifestyle that you want to live, the harder it is to become financially free. So now that we've got past these first couple of points, how much money do you actually need to be financially free? How much you need, it very much depends by how much it will cost you each year to live the lifestyle that you want. So the way that you want to be thinking about this is to reverse engineer it, to work backwards. So think of the ideal lifestyle that you want to live and then work out how much that would cost you each year. And that's basically your number. That's how much money you will need every year from your investment returns to be financially free. For some people, they might only need something like 50 grand a year if they're happy to live a basic life. Others might want 300 grand a year if they want to live a really luxurious and extravagant lifestyle. It just depends again on what you want. For a bit more context though, the Association of Super Funds of Australia estimates that as at 2024, the yearly cost of a comfortable retirement for a couple in Australia is around $73,000, and for a single person it's about $52,000 a year. A comfortable retirement here means that you're able to cover your basic expenses and then spend on things like leisure activities, have private health insurance, a reasonable car, spend on household goods, and also holidays. And I think this is a pretty fair estimate, to be quite honest. I mean, I spent about $35,000 last year on my living expenses, which included both essential and discretionary spending. Although I do admit that I live a pretty simple life and I don't have any expensive hobbies, and I only spend about $3,000 a year on holidays, that's still well under the estimates provided for the cost of living comfortably. It is important to note though that these estimates assume that you own your own home and that you don't have any debt. You don't necessarily need to own your own home, but if you don't, then your investment returns will also have to cover the cost of rent for the rest of your life. You will also need to make sure that you're adjusting for inflation as well, because this is all calculated in today's dollars. So your question right now might be, well, what value in assets do I need to passively produce the amount of money that I need each year to be financially free. So an easy rule of thumb here is just to take your yearly figure for the cost of your ideal lifestyle and then multiply that by 25. And that gives you a ballpark amount that you need in unencumbered assets, that means assets without debt, if those assets gave you a 4% return in passive income every year. So for example, if you take the $73,000 a year needed for a comfortable retirement for a couple in Australia, and you multiply that by 25, you get 1.825 million. So you need 1.825 million in assets which have no debt against them, whether it's investment properties that give you rental income, or shares that give you dividends, or equity in your own business, or whatever it is. But obviously this is just a high level calculation which doesn't factor in any associated costs with holding these assets or taxes on the passive income that you receive from them. It also doesn't account for the risk that rental income and dividends can decrease at times depending on market forces and the like. Bottom line is that how much money you need to live your ideal lifestyle is something that you need to think about very, very carefully, because the more expensive the lifestyle you want, the higher the asset base that you're going to need before you can reach financial freedom. So now that you've got some idea of the target in mind, how do you actually get to financial freedom? You're probably wondering, how the hell do I get a couple of $1 million in assets with no debt to be financially free? That's a good question, and as I've already said, it's not easy, and in most cases it does take a long time. In decades I'm talking about. That's why not many people actually achieve it. But here's my best shot at explaining to you what you need to do. So when you're young, you should really try to live as frugally as you can while still obviously enjoying your life. Create the biggest difference you can between your income and your expenses, save that difference, and then invest into investment grade assets. That just means quality assets. You can read a bunch of books about investing to learn about what makes for a good investment, and just keep repeating this process, and then just let time and compounding do the rest for you. If you can do this for 2 or 3 decades, you're going to create a lot of wealth for yourself. And once you make your first million, it becomes much easier to make a lot more money a lot more quickly, because you have the power of time and compound interest on your side. Throughout the years, you can also work on increasing your income as much as possible. Your income is a huge determinant of your wealth, because the higher it is, the more money you can save and then invest. So you need to invest in yourself to build skills that are valuable to others and that are in high demand. This is what will allow you to earn real money. So take courses, read books, and do masterminds to learn high income skills like sales, marketing, writing, copywriting, and video editing. From this, you can create a business and you can scale it, which can earn you enormous amounts of money if you get it right. And there's a bunch of books that you can read also on entrepreneurship, which can show you how to start and run a business if you get stuck on this point. Your end goal could be to hire a team to replace you in your business while you still retain equity and a share in the profits, which will then give you that passive income and the freedom that you want. So make a commitment to keep learning and improving at your craft, whether it's at your job, your business, or your investing skills. You also want to get great mentors and a team around you who can challenge you, provide you with advice, recognize your blind spots, and help you get better. You want to be surrounding yourself with people who have achieved what you want to achieve, and ideally, they need to be people who have taken others there many, many times before. So you want to leverage their skills, knowledge, experience, and expertise by paying them to do what they do best. This also leverages your time. It saves you from having to learn everything about everything, which is impossible anyway. I mean, you'll learn more about what to do to improve your business from a 30-minute conversation with a good business coach than you will from reading a bunch of books or getting an MBA. So just make a commitment to continue learning and improving over time, and this will compound into incredible results for you. And finally, you have to be willing to make some sacrifices. You're going to have to work long hours for a while to get all of this stuff done and carve out the time for it. And you need to be in it for the long haul too. So extend your time horizon for success, and just trust that if you keep doing all the right things over a long period of time, things will start happening for you. You need to have faith in that process. A lot of people just quit too early, or they don't start at all because they fear that all their sacrifices will just amount to nothing, and that it will all be just a waste of time and effort. But even if you don't get the results that you're after, you're going to just have transformed into such a capable person with so many skills that you will just succeed at something else. or you can just learn from your mistakes and keep trying again until you succeed at the thing. In saying that you need to make sacrifices, you also need to find a sustainable way to do things. What I'm saying is don't burn yourself out so that you don't last the journey. The point is to enjoy the whole process and not to delay your happiness until you finally reach the goal of financial freedom. Happiness isn't dependent on a certain thing happening to us in life. It doesn't come with reaching any particular destination. And having financial freedom won't solve all your problems. It might solve all your money problems, but you're still going to have all the same non-money problems that everyone else has in life. So these are things like having issues with relationships and health and things like that from time to time. Go ahead and take a look at any celebrity or billionaire as proof of that. So don't hang your happiness on financial freedom. It can allow you to live a great life and give you more freedom and choices than you have right now. But just remember that happiness can always be found in your life right here and right now, no matter what's going on. And you don't want to miss out on that. So that's my honest advice if you want financial freedom. If you found the video useful, but you're feeling like you're financially behind in life, make sure that you watch this video on your screen right now, which is just for you. Please also remember to like the video and subscribe to the channel. It really does make a difference with your support. But with all of that, guys, thanks so much for watching and have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.